Good morning, everyone who came to the talk show today. I'm Kwan Jung. As always, I will be the host of the morning show, and I'm here to inform all of you about the new talk, sharing from various talents who get their dreams on now. Today, we have two special guests from the movie Bố Già of Trấn Thành in the studio here now. Vi Jung, a talented scriptwriter of the movie Bố Già, and Kim Nguyễn, an influential film critic. And the topic for our conversation today is viewpoints from movie in the theater to web drama. So, V, can you briefly introduce the movie Bố Già to our audiences?
Well, Bố Già carries us into the shop of small Ali Saigon life through Ba Sang Trấn Thành, a cunning smuggler whose heart is too big for his own good. Blanketed by a hyper-dysfunctional family, Ba Sang sacrifices day to day to resolve the tenuous balance between his bullying sibling and his writing YouTuber son. When family press rupture, Ba Sang slips into a predicament that threatens to break his family apart. Bố Già is a fun, recently entering meaningful story about talent and family dynamics.
It's known that you two are the scriptwriter and critic of the movie Bố Già, and for the program to have enough time, please allow me to enter the main questions. Bố Già web drama version is remarkably successful, consisting of 5 episodes and was exhibited publicly on YouTube. So why does Trấn Thành not continue to make web drama but convert it into a movie version?
If you are a fan of Vietnamese movies, then surely you will know movie Bố Già of Trấn Thành. Before the movie versions of the Bố Già appeared, there was an episode of the Bố Già on YouTube. This film had been very well received by the audience, strongly hitting the family psychology. Besides, the actors of the film are also famous in the showbiz world, which is an attraction for the audience, grasping the psychology of the vast majority of Vietnamese people is curious. So Trấn Thành created Bố Già movie version to let viewers curious to know that this time Bố Già will be different from the previous Bố Già. Actually, everyone is a passionate and pursuit beauty. Yeah, like to look at beauty people, right? Yeah, me too. So Trấn Thành took back some old actor from the previous movie to play the Bố Già this time. Trấn Thành want to make people more aware of the father love, which is immense, and scare is the mother. The father is the one who doesn't talk much, but also care about his children, so that his children can live in the fullest life in his ability, and because he showed that the Vietnamese cinema industry rarely mentioned his father. He brought it to the screen to give to his father, as well as his father, a spirit gift.
Yes, I put the agreement on your top V. As far as I was concerned, the movie theater market in our country started to develop from the milestone of Gái Nhảy in 2004, then Những Cô Gái Chân Dài. During the past 16 years, most of the films were rated as uninteresting or even bad. Many viewers chose to watch foreign blockbusters instead of spending time on domestic films. Hence, producing a hit movie is a big challenge for Vietnamese film producers. And with the development of social networks, movie writers are no longer dependent on television stations. The film productions which are designed and inspected by the directors, can reach the audience through the internet system, creating web dramas.
And as I know, the web drama can be described in two ways: a story that are presented in a dramatic way, and like that TV drama in alternative. They explore a range of subgenres, which can also be put into one more than one category. Again, like a TV drama, they involve a dramatic parameters, which are scripted and are normally fictional. They also have a shorter running time than TV drama and lower production budgets. Okay, V, after watching the version that has been improved on the script and are carefully invested in visuals, will viewers be satisfied with Jung Han's new movie?
Bố Già can be considered a movie that hit touch viewers' heart. The deep human love and fatherhood must be the key marks that make Bố Già conquer the majority of the audience. The sibling in the family set the foundation for Mr. Basang to excel with his hardworking and loving personality despite experiencing conflict between two generations. He is a great father in many ways, a generous and kind-hearted father that makes the audience reflect and certainly remember and love more than their father. Sympathy and tolerance, even not sacrifices between generations, help Mr. Basang and his son Wang overcome disagreement and misunderstanding. More than ever, the audience feel deeply about the warm, strong, and scared family affection. So, Haas, do you see how the distinction between into of us?
Yeah, I guess its humor and emotions are the main differences between the two works. Jung Han doesn't seem to have clearly defined the main direction in a web drama version. The work still has family elements but tends to be more humorous. The film focuses on amusing because of Basang's confusing situations when driving a motorbike taxi, sometimes seeing a broke customer, sometimes being bumped, or meeting oh my god passengers. Another point is that the conflicts are often being resolved in a humorous way for entertainment purpose. What is that the web drama feature is short episodes that cause many storylines to be interrupted in the middle of nowhere and do not create emotional continuity. The work is also a bit in loss of advertising with a relatively unorthodox setting. Apparently, both movie versions focuses entirely on the emotional side. The movie has comedy too. It also brings laughter, but most of it comes with the bitterness of the characters. The film has an unexpected scene showing Basang's boundless love and sacrifice for Wang. At the same time, the detail that also helps Wang to be clearly defined and have a marked improvement in personality and thinking. Okay, so as a film critic, Kim, do you think there are differences between the two versions of BoJack?
Well, compared to the web drama version, BoJack has many changes in content to touch the hearts of the audience. There are two significant differences between the two versions. Humor and emotion is the first distinction, what you have just mentioned. And the second one is that the difficulties in making a living have turned into conflicts between parents and siblings. In the web drama version, Jung Tan plays Jung Won Tan, a father who runs a motorbike taxi to take care of his children's education. His wife, Mrs. Lang, works as a domestic helper, while Shang and we are both still of school age. The conflicts in this family are mainly due to the poverty and deprivation, but also to their own kinds of expenses. Tan also objected to Shang pursuing his passion for music and we wanting to work part-time to help her parents. He wants to shoulder all the difficulties in her hardships so that his children can get a diploma, get a decent job, and not have to suffer the same poverty and illiteracy as himself. Besides, the film also brings a few confusing situations in the couple's livelihood, Tan and his wife. Yeah, this is a good script, but only suitable for web drama or drama because the contradictions between the child's passions and the parents' desire are no longer so acute in the current context. Many parents allow their children to freely choose their favorite jobs, or young people will study the majors that their parents want and pursue their passions after graduation. Meanwhile, the script of the movie is more real and closer to normal life. This time, Jung Tan plays Ba Sang, the second younger brother in a family of four, including Ha Yao, Tu Fu, and Uk Wi. The siblings differ in personalities and circumstances, so there are often quarrels and conflicts between them. Between Ba Sang and his son Wang, there is also a controversy about the guy wanting to become a famous YouTuber, a profession that people of the previous generation could not understand. But this is not an important detail. The key of the film lies in the fact that Ba Sang always silently sacrifices for his children, regardless of whether one wants to or not. He took on the guilt, accepted the suffering and pain on his part to take care of his son's future, even when one wanted to pay filial piety. His old father resolved for fear that it would affect his work and health. In addition, Ba Sang is also a person who always gives in and reconciles between brothers and sisters in the family. This also led to a new conflict when Wang wanted to defend his father because his brothers scolded him, but he couldn't.
With the enthusiastic responses of the audiences, it can be said that both versions of Boza have resonated successfully. So can the two of you tell me and everyone to know about the revenue of Boza this time, and Jinghan as well as the film has received any public opinion wave, and there is an opinion that Zheng filming affects the lives of people around. So what do you think about this?
When it comes to revenues, it's quite an unexpected number for us. During its release today, Boya has achieved a box office hit by continuously breaking record created by himself, earning nearly 350 billion Vietnam đồng as of the afternoon of March 29, according to Box Office Vietnamese. After only 23 days of release, the film reached more than 5 million tickets purchased, becoming the highest-selling Vietnamese film of all time. And the special thing is that before winning this record, Bố Già set the record for the fastest domestic work to collect 100 billion Vietnam đồng with a time of 4 days. Next, on March 14, the film became the first Vietnamese film to reach the sale milestone of 200 billion Vietnam đồng and reach 290 billion Vietnam đồng within 2 weeks of its release. There is much to talk about the wave of opinion of this film, but to talk about the most special thing, it must be the story surrounding the village of Cù Lao. The rest reports that Trấn Thành film disturbing order. In fact, filming has a makes a noise, right? So this is also very normal and has nothing to say. But besides that, there are also some spiritual story around. The first is that the house returns of filming, the house of actor Lê Giang. There is an altar in the house. At first, the real did not intend to move the altar, but then director Vũ Ngọc Đảng changed his mind and moved it. That day, we couldn't film one problem after another, so the landlord had to go to worship the owner of the altar in order to film the scenes. Everyone shockingly said to each other, "Don't ask Rammer," she enraged. And the second story is naturally the river water rose to the flood alley at the same time the filming reel was filming. A resident explained and said that flooding is not a trend thing here, but only occasionally, not day after day. At the time the film was shot, the water in the river suddenly rose, making the whole alley flooded in incomprehensible ways.
With a considerable amount of revenue in both Vietnam and the US, it can be said that the movie Bố Già has successfully paved the way for Vietnamese cinema to reach the world. Director Vũ Ngọc Đảng and Giang Han skillfully used long, short films to create real, honest conversations that clearly reflected the familiar quarrels of Vietnamese families. The contradictions in the film not only come from the difference between the two generations, but also the selfishness of relatives or the struggle to sacrifice for each other, all leading to a very poignant, a very painful ending. And I believe that Giang Han's Bố Già is a milestone that shows that Vietnamese cinema will produce more great movies in the future.
Okay, nowadays many artists and comedians are competitive with others to make a movie, at least better than a web drama. So what do you guys think about this?
It's for why comedians want to make movie in theater rather than web drama. In fact, theatrical movies shoot faster than web drama, and the beat is also slightly better than web drama. In addition, it has many films with the same depth as that. For example, here I do not equate web drama with no depth. I mean, that is not equal, and theatrical films are also more well invested than web drama. Yeah, if I'm a comedian, I still should act in a movie theater because my image on that movie is correct. More investment sometimes thanks to the success of the movie, it will help me become more famous and close similar, and I have more new projects. Yeah.
In general, web drama flourishes because the internet is so popular and convenient. The communication is much stronger than the old television system. Just put your videos on a simple website like YouTube and wait a few minutes. Your videos may have reached millions of people across the country. And suppose you were a film producer. Would you invest to produce a movie with billions of Vietnam dong, but you're not sure that it will attract the audience, or a web drama that costs many times less, but is funny and more easy to become popular? It seems that web drama is a safe and appropriate choice. However, the number of quality Vietnamese movies in recent years has been gradually improving, attracting many domestic audience and bringing in significant revenue. Some successful films such as Tôi thấy hoa vàng trên cỏ xanh, Em thương 18, or Lạc Mặt. After nearly a year of online screening, Jung Tan invested in making the movie version for Boza. It can be said that this is the right decision. Basically, when the cinematic version of an old drama is produced, it will usually be invested and refined in terms of content and image quality. In addition, Boza's web drama version with humorous elements has attracted a loyal fan base, which means it will contribute to make the movie version's debut even more flourishing.
I exactly have my problem with film acting in general, and where I do believe they imposed lots of limitations on their profession is the style. It is realism. Theaters also do realism in acting, but it's not changed with this. Theater acting is always a few steps ahead of film acting because theater actors is not afraid to go out of his comfort zone to impressionism, expressionism, surrealism, or even back to naturalism, while film actors mostly dwell into psychological realism. To be honest, I can't blame actors here, but the industry of filmmaking does set the standards where everything needs to be sounded like naturally, like something you already heard, so you can't believe that, which is honestly such a poor and unimaginative way to think about art. Okay, and I think Vietnamese audiences are also looking forward to Trung Nick film mixed with other talented film producers. I really appreciate the scriptwriter Vi Jung and film critic Kim Nguyen for taking time to attend our show and for your helpful sharing, insightful comments, and reviews. And it's time to close the morning show. See you guys on the next topic on next Wednesday morning.